Hello everyone. This video explains how to prepare an exam using formulas plugin. I will assume that you are familiar with e-learning. This exam has 4 questions. The first question, f of t equal a times t, the variable, to the power c plus b. The answer to this question is symbolic. It is not number, it is a formula. The answer is a formula. Now, a is random variable, randomized, and c is randomized, the exponent of t, and b is also randomized. The idea behind that is that when a student opens the exam, he will obtain different coefficients here, different exponent and different constant, and effectively he will obtain different equation. Every student will obtain different equation, and he have to solve this different equation. This may reduce the chances of cheating. Now I need to define a, b, and c, and you can see here in the variables, random variables, a from 100 to 20 with a step of 1, and the same b, and the same for c. You can choose other values and other steps depending on your specialization and your requirements. Now the answer, and t also, I have defined t, you can see. The answer for this question is stored in placeholder number 1. So the answer for this question is answer 1 here. You put here t instead of f, and f instead of t. So f here is equal t minus b over a, t minus b over a, and the whole expression is raised to the power 1 over c to obtain the inverse. Now answer 1 and number 1. We go to the output. Now we put answer 1 here, answer, and placeholder number 1. The absolute error, we have to choose absolute error, and I have chosen here 0.1. You can choose other value, and the grade is 3. You can choose other grade, 20, 10, 50, as you like. And here the answer tab, we can choose number, numeric, numerical formula, and algebraic. Because I want the answer to be symbolic, I have chosen algebraic formula. We have finished one question. Now the second question, f of x is equal d times cosine ex. Again, d is randomized and e is also randomized. I have defined also here d and e, start and end and the step here. Okay, the answer to this, the inverse of this, inverse is required. So inverse is equal to, here we put x and here we put f instead of x. So here f is equal x over d cosine inverse, as you can see, cosine inverse a cosine x over d, and divided by the coefficient of x, which is f now, which is e. Now we have also answer 2 and number 2. We go to part 2, the answer 2. 3 grades also, algebraic formula, answer 2 and number 2, and absolute error 0.1. We have finished the second problem. The third problem now, f of y equal a times ln y to the exponent of b. Also a is randomized and b is randomized. Now we want the derivative, df of y by dy, df of y by dy. This has been written by LaTeX, and you can write it using the equation editor. The answer is in a placeholder number 3, and answer 3 is here. This is equal a times b ln y, and derivative of this is a times b over y, because derivative of ln y is 1 over y. So now we have answer 3 and placeholder number 3. We go to part 3. We have answer 3 and placeholder number 3. We have finished the third question. Now the final question is the numeric, because I want symbolic and the numeric here. The integration from a to b. Now note that the limits of integration are also random variables a and b, and the integrand is a constant c, which is also random variable. I want the idea, you can put function instead of constant. Now the answer, you can write this of course using the equation editor or using the LaTeX. Now the answer is stored in number 4 holder, and number 4 answer is here c, the limits of integration b minus a times c, b minus a times c. And we go to part 4 now. part 4 here. I have chosen numerical formula. I can choose number, but I want a numeric because in case the student does not have calculator, he can put the numbers with multiplication sign, division sign, exponent, and the computer or the system will calculate the answer for him. Now answer 4 here, and relative error is 0.1. You can choose other values, and the placeholder is number 4. We have finished the exam. Now we want to save the exam. You can save changes and continue editing, or save changes. Here you can choose any one of them. Now, as we mentioned before, that when a student opens the exam, he will obtain different answer or different problem. Now preview. The students will see this screen. Now this is the function 3, 3, 15, 8. These numbers will not be the same for students. Every student will get different numbers. Now the inverse is t minus 8 here, t minus 8, and divided by 3, and also the whole expression is raised to the power of 1 over 15, of 1 over 15. Okay, so t minus 8 over 3 to the power of 1 over 15. That's the first answer. The second answer, it will be x over 2 here, a cosine, inverse cosine of x over 2, and divided by the coefficient of x, because it will be 3 here. So it will be x over 2 inverse over 3. The third answer, derivative is 3 times 8, 3 times 8. As you can see, the student does not have to have a calculator, and the answer for this is 15 times 8 minus 3, 8 minus 3. And we check our answers now. Check. All are correct, and the grade is 10 out of 10. Now, if you repeat if another student opens the exam, you can see here the numbers 3, 15, 8, and here 2 and 3, and here 3 and 8, and here 3 and 8 and 15. You can see the numbers will change now. 11, 11, 3, and this is 9, 7, and this is 11, 3, and here 3, 11, and 11. That's all. We have prepared an exam. And you can see that it did not take too much time. If the idea is in your head, I think it will not take more than maybe 15 to 30 minutes. Thank you.